Test 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, this is Cedric and...
Dave from Bandyte.
Yeah, Bandyte! We're doing our first live stream, yay!
Yay, applause!
Well, we're doing our first official live stream. We had the test some people noticed last week. But hey, welcome everybody! We have some people on the stream, some people already chatting, it's awesome. Yeah, so, what are we gonna talk about today? Hey everybody, this is Cedric and... okay, so everybody will hear the hey everybody twice because I left my audio on. Let's just... Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, we were talking about working in the game industry. Me and Dave are both... well, either we worked or are working on like games professionally and individually. With Bandyte, one of the projects you can see currently on my cool wallpaper is Luma. We will also be discussing that a bit. So, hello everybody. You can ask questions at any time in the chat. We already have some active chatters, which is awesome. And welcome. Yeah, Dave, do you want to add something to that?
I don't think so. I work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like Sweet Angel is saying, good to know how far behind you are. Yeah, you're about 30 seconds behind or something, or might even be more. So yeah, Dave, what should we talk about?
maybe we should talk about working in the game industry. That's like the title says.
That's a good idea. So yeah, so this is actually a request. Yeah, you got it specifically on one of your videos that like how it is to work in the game industry and how the pipelining works and how it's experienced.
Yes, that's true. Working in the game industry, I did not work in like a AAA company because that's a bit too much. But I worked in an indie company named Selene Studios, and I created, not me, I created some with Karel and Erwin, created the game My and Dead Robots. But yeah, it was not that successful, so shut up. And
not your fault.
Yeah, it was pretty intense sometimes because the deadlines are they're really strict, and everything has to be done at the end of the week because you cannot progress with new content if the other content, the old content, is not finished.
Yeah, and so on. So yeah, you worked on an indie title. I'm currently working on a... Well, I can't say actually. I can literally say nothing about what I'm working on at the moment and the EA agreements and such. So thank you Zero Coke for pointing out that I was a little bit loud. I noticed it myself. I quieted myself a little bit. And Dave, you can... I will pump up the jam for Dave. Here we go. Dave, say something.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, okay, here we go. That's better. Yeah, and Dave is on Skype. So we got our first question. Is a computer science degree better or should one get a game design degree? That really depends. Yeah, it depends hardcore. Whether you want to be a programmer, game programmer, developer, software designer, or if you want to be a game designer. But game designer is a dangerous term. Because there are not really careers specifically in game design. Like games are designed by programmers, by artists, by all kinds of people. And but yeah, it depends on what you want to do. I don't know.
Whenever you see a live video or something recorded from a AAA company and it tells the title, I'm a game designer, he's not specifically a game designer, that's its job. He's also an artist or also a programmer because you don't have like a course in game design, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So basically you either want to... Well, if you know what you want to do, don't go follow a game design course. Go follow either like a heavy programming course, even like software engineering and stuff, or go to an art school. If you want to do art, or go to a managing like school if you want to do managing, and so on and so on. But if you just want to work in the game industry, then a game design course can be very helpful because you can experience all the aspects and yeah. It's kind of that's kind of the point, right? It depends. I mean, games are one of the most
advanced software there is on the planet.
Yeah, not only that. I mean, art comes like games have art, games have programming, games have like the most complex pipelining I've seen.
Yes.
I mean,
it's a virtual art actually.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, ASVBVVV is saying mainly programming games because from my research, getting a game dev degree, you can get into mainly game companies, but computer science helps get any programming job. Yeah, that's also true. If you learn programming and then you have like a little bit of insight on how physics work and how like movement works and graphics work, you can program a game. If you learn programming pure in the game sense, you will not very quickly get a programming job anywhere, I think. Although that might be Dave's case.
Currently, I'm working in medical software development, and I had a course in digital arts and entertainment. It's a game development course actually, but I focused myself in my spare time actually on C++ and other languages, which made me be able to how do you say that, participate into other companies than only game development.
Yeah. So Sweet Angel posed a question like, knowing the pipeline is always a plus, no? Well, it depends. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on how you phrase the question, I guess. Every project I've worked on, and I've worked on like AAA to super indie, is has different pipelines. Like, not even dependent on the scale, but I've also worked on small movies, small indie internet companies, and the pipeline is really. I mean, I started a new job, and it's also again a whole new pipeline, and it's a good pipeline, but yeah, it's you should know some stuff of pipelining. You should know how feedback is handled in bigger companies, and it's also a thing. Like, not sure where I'm going with this answer, but basically,
the pipeline that I had in Selene Studios was every morning we discussed what we did last day, and then we discussed what we were going to do today, and then at the end of the day we discussed things and did it work out, did you had any problems or something like that, and then the entire week was like that, and except for Friday. On Friday we had like a lookup of the entire week. So did we make any progress, or did something hold us back, and could we do something better? It's always good to see
the different kinds of approaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
how to tackle problems.
Yeah.
But there is not really a guideline on how the pipeline works, because it's different in every company.
Yeah, it's also different on every project even. I mean, the pipeline will depend on how a game is built up and what are the most important factors in the game, and what needs to be finished first and what needs to be finished last. Sweet Angel posts like further like but generally knowing how it works, how you have to handle artists and such. That's actually an interesting topic, because handling other people in a company like this is mostly like communication is mostly the key that will make the difference between a good company and a very bad one. If your communication goes wrong, your entire company will flop.
Yes.
Yeah, I've experienced it. It's not fun, it's like, for example, one thing that is a very bad behavior of some companies is that the blame will always be put on the lowest in the hierarchy, like, and this will actually be pushed further downwards as long as possible, because people don't like to take the blame, people don't like to take the responsibility, and mostly what not so good companies will do is like search responsibility for bringing a good product at the lowest, like at the artists and the programmers, whereas a good company will find responsibility in their management, and that's basically.
Yeah.
I can't give you, like, we can't give you a perfect
there's actually,
way. Yeah.
There's actually nothing to blame, because when you're working on a project, you're all working as a team, and if one fails, you actually failed as a team, and there is actually no one to blame. If the artists are late, that's because something happened that made the artists late. If the programmers can't finish a bug, that's because something happened why they cannot fix that bug. You're working as a team, so you can't actually point a finger to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are cases that you can, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, so, by the way, hi, Marco F. Thanks for joining us. Also, we've got a question. How long have you guys been in the industry, or what would you suggest? Well, let's just answer the first question first. So I've been not around so long. I've got my degree, my college degree, like 8 months ago, but I got self-employed very quickly, started my own company in combination with my YouTube channel, with this YouTube channel, with our YouTube channel. And then I had a lot of experience with a lot of companies because I worked as a freelancer for bigger companies. And now I work at Grid VFX last month, which is a very big, like, a lot of employees and scale and scope company in Belgium. Dave, how long have you been working in the industry?
Well, I first did my internship at Triangle Factory. That was pretty intense because I had to work in the Unreal Engine 4 using C++. It was a nice experience, but was heavy, to understand everything, because it was like network programming and shit. Then I worked for Selene Studios until the end of November. The game, was published, and I don't like to, do nothing. So I went to Novel Biocare. It's like a medical software development company, and they took me, and now I'm working over there. It's pretty cool to see another side of C++, not only in real-time programs, but also in other software.
Yeah, it's always pretty exciting to find. Like, I didn't even start, like, I actually condemned the game industry for a long time, for like 3-4 years, and started doing more film and like media content. But I got back into the 3D, and with 3D very often comes games back. Like, you can't really avoid it. But I work as an artist, so it doesn't really bother me that much because I don't really like programming and stuff. So
fuck you too.
So another question is, what would you suggest? What would you suggest a high school student who is programming for a pretty long time to do to get a good job later on in life? Get a portfolio. That's about all the answer I can give you. Do stuff, like do projects, finish a project, like small projects. Don't make a fucking. There's this guy who made a video lately, and he has been working on a game for 16 years or something.
16?
Yeah, since he was 16, he was working in his free time on a game for 16 years until he was 32, and he shared his experience with what he did wrong, and the scope of the game was way too big. Like, start with something simple, make a Mario clone, make one level in Mario or something.
Don't start creating a game engine like I did.
Yeah, no, don't start creating a game engine. It can also be fun, especially if you're like into deep core programming, I guess, and if you have some experience. Yeah. By the way, another thing, if you ask questions in the chat, reference what you're referring to, because we see the chat like 45 seconds behind what we're saying, and if you ask who question mark, we have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's the I don't know. What were we talking about?
We were talking about what
Yeah.
ASVBVV said.
Yeah, right.
Oh? Yeah.
So just get a portfolio, get your work out there. Experience is key here. Like, I can't really say that. Well, this is not nice of me to say, but a degree is useless. Education is not. Like, spending 3 years in college and getting experience and getting to know and networking with people and getting like to know teachers who have experience and getting like stuff learned from them is good. That's valuable. But don't count on your degree. Count on your portfolio. Start with your portfolio if you're in high school. Like, do some cool projects. Maybe get in some other friends. Don't be scared when they fail. Just do another thing. Yeah, just start another project. And yeah, just yeah, do something you think is fun and finish it. And yeah, then everything will be all right.
That's why we started Luma.
Yeah, that's why we started Luma. So, should we go a bit into Luma?
Maybe because I was thinking about the 16-year gaming guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's. Maybe I should wait. Yeah. Yeah, wait, let me look for it. In the meantime, Dave will talk more about Luma.
Yeah, I'll try to. So, Luma is actually a puzzle game that we are creating because we thought that if we are going to a multiplayer first-person shooter, that it would be too advanced for us. So we thought maybe we could create a puzzle game that's depending on light. And Cedric actually created a script for it, and yeah, I told him that it was basically the gameplay that from a game that I created. You can find it on my portfolio.
Self-advertising blatantly.
And yeah, we iterated on that project, and that came out Luma. And basically, what you have is that the player emits light, and also the enemies emit light, and with the light that they can emit, you solve puzzles. Actually, that's basically our game. I'm not sure if we should discuss more, or
I can show some art, and I'll get into some more, because everything we will say now can be like changed, can be iterated. We have some ideas, but the main idea of like Luma is to actually work very close with you guys, work very close with the community, get feedback like in the most social way possible, and yeah, make the game like together with you guys. And I mean, like, I'm not. This is not going to be an open project. It's not going to be like a contributing project. But it's gonna be like feedback based, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it. But let me just real quick try and find the right folder.
Did you have everything organized?
Yeah, I have, but it's everywhere. Let me try and find some. Yeah. So this is basically. Yeah, this is our very early concepts. These are very early proof of concepts, tests we did with Lightning and such. This is all done in Blender, by the way. This is with the Cycles engine. But we want to recreate this feel, this visual inside like a top-down puzzle game. We're also like focusing on sound and mood, whilst Dave is actually working on a very artist-friendly way for me to interact with the game, which is also very awesome. And we'll definitely share some tips and tricks about that. There might even be
a Unity tutorial.
Yeah, a Unity tutorial. So that might be coming. These are also very early concepts. And there are these are textures. I'm not sure where I put the level designs.
They're on the Google Drive.
Yeah, I have them. It's also very early. For instance, these are like levels we designed, mechanics we designed, and so on. And these are going to be shared more in detail. What we want to do once we have the demo working. I mean, we have a working demo, but it's not like it's. I don't think it's referential enough to give feedback on yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, but now you have an idea of what we're doing. It's a top-down indie, light-based, very cool, eerie, maybe even to some horror degree.
That's the thing we want the most, the horror factor.
We want to bring like we are working with very easy geometry, but hello Joffrey, very simple geometry, but want to give some uneasy feeling about it, and we're gonna have to do that in combination with sound, with looks, but also with the mechanics, that everything does what it should do, and a lot of testing will probably be done. So we got our next question, by the way. How do you keep
up?
A
lot of questions.
Yeah. How do you keep up your creativity by Zero Cook? Well, you can check my video about creativity. It's up on the channel. It basically gives you an idea. But if we want to go into specifics about how we do it, I listen to different kinds of music. That helps. That's one of the ways. Like I listen to music I've never listened to before. That's
the thing I do to keep up my creativity is like I listen mostly to epic music. I don't know if you heard of it, but I listen to epic music, and I imagine myself what would happen with that music on the background, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, that's also a good technique.
And then that inspires my fantasy, and from that I iterate over a lot of things. Like, that's a fun way to program something, or maybe I can create a shader about that, or something like.
Yeah. And that's I mean, creativity comes from everywhere, but you should not like without like repeating my other video. Yeah, sorry. Repeating my other video too much, but you should basically go like for instance, I'm on Tumblr and I follow a lot of art blogs, and I get inspired by that. So it's always like you have to get inspired by. Well, the point is we mostly get inspired by outer impulses. You never get really creative if you just stick into your mind. Like having outer inputs is always nice.
Just maybe it works for everyone different. Maybe you should go outside and look around. Maybe that inspires you. Yeah. Or maybe you should go and watch a movie and that inspires you. Or maybe you should watch a candle burn and that inspires you. And it can be anything.
Yeah, basically. But I think the key is to do something new. Like, don't watch a movie you've already seen 10 times. Don't watch a candle burn that you've already seen burn 10 times. But yeah, do something crazy. Try a new hobby. Like, one thing that also works for me, I run occasionally. And whilst running, I come up with great ideas, and I carry a small notebook with me and write those ideas down.
I also have a small notebook with me, but that's not for creativity. That's because I'm busy with programming, and whenever something pops up my mind, and I think, that's how I need to solve that. Oh yeah, that's how I can do that. So it's different aspect from programmer to artists.
Yeah, it's also creativity, right? It's
also creativity.
Yeah, like I said in my previous video, creativity is not an artist's thing. It's something everybody does, and that's awesome. So yeah, I hope we answered that question. So what?
Which engine are you guys using for Luma? Unity.
Oh, where did you find that? Oh, Unity. Yeah, we're using Unity. We had the discussion. We had to talk about it.
Yeah, mostly the programmer side are we doing right now, because all the mechanics have to be in place for Cedric to do his artsy fartsy stuff.
Yeah, and we're still discussing on a game design level what we want to put in the game. So,
but yeah, we're using Unity, and like Cedric said, we might be doing some tutorials about how to create artist-friendly Unity editors, because the Unity editor is pretty awesome, but it's not really artist-friendly. It is artist-friendly, but not in the way you want to program your games.
Yes. You're welcome, Zero Cook, by the way. Yeah, so maybe we can talk about why we didn't choose another engine. So we talked about like the Unreal Engine, the Unity engine. Then there was this free open source engine.
And there was my engine.
And there was your engine. But they all have like pros and cons. But I think Unity is like also for exporting purposes, and
and the speed in development.
And the pipeline between Blender and Unity and what Dave does and what I do, it complements best on Unity. So
and I also think that Unreal Engine was a bit overkill for what we would do.
Yes. I mean, the Unity engine can definitely be as beautiful as the Unreal Engine, but
if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but the Unreal Engine has too many
settings.
Yeah. Hey, Sweet Angel, Dave has his own engine.
Yes, I have my own engine.
There's nothing to cough about. It's not like a Unity or Unreal Engine, but hey, an engine is an engine. We even have tutorials about how to make your own engine.
Yes, but that's not my engine.
No, that's not how to make the Dave engine.
The Dave engine. That's a cool name. Dave engine.
It's actually the Dave engine. It's like
I'll change it. Change the name.
Change the name to the Dave engine. And you can make the logo like just DAV and an engine. So the E of the Dave and engine will like overlap. Yeah, it's cool.
Your artsy fartsy is already in my engine. The free version of you? Did you?
Well, we're currently developing in the.
Actually, Unity is free for everybody.
Yeah, Unity is pretty free, but we'll have to buy licenses, I guess.
You have to buy a license if you want to export to PS4 or Xbox One or something like that. But Unity is free for everybody.
Unity is free for everybody. Go program a game.
There are also pretty nice tutorials about Unity, how to create simple games and something like that.
Yeah.
I recently saw somebody using Unity on the train. It was pretty cool to see, but his code was like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Probably gonna draw some, I think. If I can find color.
So you're gonna leave me out and draw stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna start drawing stuff. I'm not gonna leave you out.
Okay.
I was just trying something real quick whilst you were talking. You were talking so interesting. I thought to complement it with some fine art.
I know I'm the interested guy.
Oh, sorry, Sweet Angel. Yeah, but great minds think alike. So. Yeah. So we're about halfway to the stream. What aspects of the game industry didn't we talk about? I think another thing I wanted to... somebody used Unreal since they thought Unity was paid. No, Unity... I think even Unity is freer than Unreal.
Unity is free if you want to port something to Windows or Linux or OS. But Unity becomes pretty expensive if you want to port something to Xbox One or PlayStation or whatever you want. But since Unreal Engine 4 got free to use, Unity was dropping because everybody was using Unreal because that's free for all platforms. And then Unity said, okay, we're going to make a free engine as well. And that's when they got free. It's also came with the update to Unity 5. And now you can port everything to Windows and Linux and OS for free if you want. And also you can use all features of Unity. Well, in Unity 4, you can't use post-processing, you can't use render to and everything like that.
Yeah.
But now you can. So if that's
awesome.
an answer to your question.
Yeah, that's sorry, I was distracted by something. There was a fly. So
yeah, and 4 is fully free. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So there are other engines like. Is the CryEngine still a thing, or was that bought by Amazon?
You can still use the CryEngine, but it's more like a sandbox than actually an engine you can develop for.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, wasn't this bought by Amazon? Didn't Amazon buy a game engine?
I cannot. I don't know.
I think something like that happened. Yes, sorry. But yeah, game engines are also really important. Like, well, I have an interesting thing to talk about. Like, something I get, like, now that I talk to people and say that I work in a AAA company. Well, we work for a AAA thing. Wow, I really have to be careful here. Tread lightly, or the NDA will get you. But we work on a like. Yeah, what people ask me is like, oh, you have super complex programs and customized things where you work in and like things. No, we actually all work in Maya. This was as surprising to me as it was to anybody else. We basically just work in Maya and we use very simple software. And it's very artistic.
Simple.
Yeah, simple, quote unquote. Like the code behind it, it's customized by the company we work for. But yes, bunnies. Oh God, Joffrey is spamming the chat up. But yeah, it's actually pretty interesting to see with what like bigger companies work and smaller companies. Smaller companies tend to nowadays go to free open source software. I worked in a company where they used Blender, although they were not like advocates of open source, which most companies that use Blender are. But newer companies will first try and find free software and open source software because it's cheaper. And I think that even forced like Unity and Unreal to also become free and other 3D software to make educational versions and such. It's like interesting to see the development. But like if you work in a very big company, they still use like software that everybody kind of uses but it's nice to see. Like it's very odd because you work on like a very big title and you're using like small stuff and doing small stuff that like I do when I am working on my artworks or something. So it's a very strange transfer going from like, yeah, I don't know how to explain this. It's pretty interesting. Like once you work at a company, you work on a product. If this is a game or a movie or like biocare stuff,
biocare stuff.
Then you tend to, you're not like disassociated with that work anymore. You're not like, because people always have this separation from them and the media world. Like if you're not working on something big, there's a wall between you and the big league. I'm not saying that I work at the big league. I come very lightly in contact with the AAA industry at the moment, but like there is no wall. There's like AAA titles are built the same as indie games. And I think that's interesting to see that there's more content, there's some more complex content, and there's more
You just have more money to create it.
Yeah, more money, more like employees, more time put into the game, and that makes the
people
difference.
With more experience.
Yeah, and people with more experience. And I think that's interesting to see in the industry and with the pipelining as well, that there's actually not that big of a difference between working small time and working big time. Of course, there's a bigger pipeline, so there's a bigger organizational like system, and a pipelining system is more like streamlined and really like hard in the sense that you have to do everything correctly. But yeah, oh, we have another question. What is the biggest lesson you've learned since you came into the industry?
Holy crap.
Yeah, let's have a question. You want to go first, or?
No, you go first. I can think about it.
I think the biggest lesson I've learned is not to take any bullshit from anybody, but to also distinct the bullshit from the feedback you should accept. So that's something very important. I see a lot of like, whether this is at a company I work at or this is like from friends I hear that work all around the world, but there will always be people who cannot like who cannot be like, yeah. You have to stand up for yourself, and you have to like be proactive and be assertive of your work, and but on the same time, you can't be defensive about your work. If your creative director says, I want you to do this more this or this more this, sure, you can go into a small discussion. Well, not even a discussion. You can say, sure, I will, like, for instance, if you want something more green, then you say, okay, I made it red because of these reasons, but I'll make it green and send you a new review. Because your creative director has more experience than you, probably, and will say this with yeah, I will say this with a reason, and I've learned to accept feedback even if I don't agree with it, but I also learned not to take bullshit. Like I've had situations where I was treated, where I was responsible for certain art aspects, but what I said was not considered like the most annoying thing. And I will never work for a company again where budget is more important than quality. So budget costs pure to have a result and have the most gain. That's a no-go for me. And that's the biggest lesson I learned, I think, that there is a choice. You can work for a company that is more like creative and wants to do like good things for their customers and clients, and also earn a lot of money, because this flows into the other, instead of like trying to come over as a qualitative, like putting more effort into appearing quality like than being quality, if that makes sense. Yeah, so what's your biggest lessons, Dave?
My biggest lesson I've ever learned in my entire career is that I need to think first and then code.
Oh,
that's thinking the most.
Yeah.
Because mostly somebody asks me, yeah, can you do this? And I say, oh yeah, I can do this, and I start coding. But whenever I'm like 2 hours into the C++ development of whatever he's asking me, and I think, yeah, I can do this a better way. There is a better way to do this, and I have to rewrite all my code, and I've lost 2 hours of time. And if there is one thing I can't stand, it is losing time. Yeah. Also, when you're waiting for the bus or waiting for the train, you're doing actually nothing. You're just waiting, and I just can't stand it.
Awesome.
So think first, then code.
Yeah,
it's the most important lesson.
I think this is not even only for coding. I think you should always think first and act later.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, true. Well, except if you're making like super artsy art. First act and think later. But Sweet Angel asks the balance between being open to learn and selectively take critiques. You should never take selectively critique. You should take all critique. The thing is, suppose your like creative director or manager says says something, and you know 100% sure that that's a wrong choice. You can complain, you can think, but you will get like a reputation of being stubborn. I had that reputation. I know what it's like. It's not fun to work somewhere and being like the stubborn guy. But like over the time, I learned to actually just execute it. And if they see that your first idea was better, then a good creative director will say, your first idea was better. I should trust you more. You will be a more trusted person, and you will gain like a reputation of being somebody who knows what he's doing. And yeah, so, but like that's when you work somewhere on an hourly rate. If you work as a, well, you should always get the trust. Like I have sometimes clients, and I try to let them trust me, that I will convince them that I know what I'm doing, and if like I can motivate it, then they can trust me, and they will choose my ideas over their initial ideas. But client is king in the end.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Tomas asks, what is the meaning of life? 42. Next question.
I think 23.
No, 42. Haven't you read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? You insolent scrub. But
I'm leaving.
Okay. Next question. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and yeah. So until I get here, until the critique you get is bullshit. Yeah, but execute the bullshit. Show them the bullshit. If they say that they want the bullshit, then you sell them the bullshit, or you get paid for that bullshit. And it, well, if it keeps repeating itself, it means you're not working with very creative people, or very or people who want to move forward with their company or with their product. But if you make the bullshit and they compare it with your earlier work, or with like the alternative you give them, you can even take the initiative to give them two options. If this is in the company you're working for, well, don't try to take too much liberty in. If you're working on an hourly rate, don't take too much liberty in overworking on things you didn't get assigned. But yeah, if you're working under good creative people, and or people with a good eye for something, you can try to convince them otherwise. But if they see the same bullshit you see, then they will agree with you in the end, and you will be a more like trusted person, as opposed to if you know what they're asking is bullshit and you don't execute it and are stubborn and say like, no, it's bullshit, I'm not going to do that, or you shouldn't do that, then you will not get a good reputation, and you will not be a very trusted person.
I got a good question in the comments that I missed. With the game engine tutorials, when it's fully finished, can we make games for our portfolio with it, or do we have to credit you? No, we don't. You don't have to credit me, but it would be nice if you credit me.
Yeah, it's, the engine from the tutorials, it's like the same as the tutorials, like the Blender tutorials I give.
Yes.
I will never ask you to like credit me for a shader or something, but if you like, if the tutorials help you, share the tutorial, share our channel, share our stuff. Go on Facebook, spam all your friends.
Indeed, spam everybody.
And that's the credit we gain from this. But elsewise, you don't have to. Everything is under Creative Commons. We're not gonna patent the way we do stuff.
No.
So. And
also, can you create your own games for your portfolio? Yeah, sure. The game engine will be a 2D game engine. I'm not going to deep inside the 3D development because it will be a long series, and I have other series to make as well. But yeah,
5 years later.
5 years later, indeed. We're now at part 8, and we implemented the graphics, and we refactored some stuff. There are still only the game logic will need to be implemented. That's a pretty big part. So I guess it will be 3 or 4 more episodes, and then the game engine will be finished. I'll maybe make an extra video for how to use it actually and how to implement some sort of stuff, some tricks, etc. But yeah, you can make your own games with it for your portfolio.
We would even be honored. Please, if you make a game in that game engine, send it to us. Show us.
I will be happy to play it.
I mean, I've got like a couple of people who sent me like, for instance, yesterday somebody sent me a lightsaber they made, and they said, "Yeah, I used your tutorials, really helped me." And that's the greatest feeling we get out of this. We don't want your money. We don't want like the fucking recognition or something. But if we can help you, if you made something awesome using either like the tutorials of the game engine or the Blender tutorials or the Unity tutorials that will come, like show us. And if we helped you, that gives us such a good feeling. And
then we feel like God.
Yeah. Well, I don't
something
know.
Like that.
I don't have a God complex, but hey. No, we basically feel like good teachers and proud of all our students and stuff. And we also like learn from other people as well. We look at tutorials and we credit them.
I've been saying that I will upload the memory manager for a while now, and it's like very, very tricky code. And I also learned it from a tutorial. And if somebody can explain me what the hell is happening over there, or if you can write it in a better way, just tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can correct us, by all means. I mean, I've had like also people on the Blender tutorials on the shaders. ASVVV says, I'm going to make a game with the DaVengine. With the Dave engine. The DaVengine. The Avenging DaVengine. There's like...
Avengers.
Yeah, the DaVengers. Just take the Avengers logo and put a D in front of it. Copyright. Don't do that, people. Yeah, where people correct me and where people say like, hey, you can do this. And hey, I talked about an issue that I had in the tutorial and people were like, oh, you can fix it this way. And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And yeah, it's a very cool way of, communicating. I mean, we are all in one big community, one way or another, and everybody learns from each other. And yeah, we create awesome things together. Like Luma. We got back to Luma. Is there an email where we can get in contact with you? Not at the moment. There was one because there was a Red Bandit website, and you can still kind of contact me at info@redbandit.be, but that's not going to be on for long anymore. But there will probably become a new email. But I think if you really have questions, follow us on Facebook, send us a message on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can find it by still looking for 3D Bandit, because I'm trying to figure out how to change the freaking name. But if you look for 3D Bandit or for Bandyte, you will find a way to contact us. You can contact us on Facebook, ask questions there. We will answer as quickly as possible, or comments on the video, or send us a YouTube message. That's still a thing. Or on Google Plus, or like on the streams here. If it's for professional work, if you have professional interests in Bandyte, then I would suggest that, Facebook is... Oh, wow.
He's dying.
I'm talking too much. I would suggest still contacting us through Facebook. Yeah, indeed. Rest in peace, Red Bandit. Sorry. It's I'm not going into that history now, but I don't think there's time left for that. But everything people need to know about the creation of Bandyte and how we came to be is in the announcement video. But basically, what happened was there was a company first focused on video, and then there was a branch focused on 3D, and the 3D branch got way more attention than all the rest. And then there was some and then Dave came into the 3D stuff, but then he didn't do 3D, so it went into the gaming branch, and there was too much of a fuzz and too much of a thing, and the other channels kind of died away, withered away. It was like a desert. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it. And now there's Bandyte. Awesome. Yeah. So we still have 10 minutes left. If there are more questions, ask them now. Or forever be damned. Nah, I'm not gonna damn you. You're nice people. We love you. Jesus Christ. So yeah. Let's see.
It was pretty exciting, actually.
Yeah. Just asking for more questions on the Facebook page or.
Maybe we should make a vote for what the next stream is.
Oh yeah. Give suggestions for the next live stream.
Sure. Shoot. We're waiting.
Oh no, the Sweet Angel asked, "What do you do in such cases?" I think I explained that enough. That if what I said you should do is what I do currently. To be very short about this question, if I get critique, if I get feedback, I will very shortly, not to sound stubborn, I will not hinder their feedback, I will not hinder their critics. I will say what I think about it, but I will execute it, and in the end they can choose. Suggestion, show your face. Currently, no. Yeah, I mean, I don't see
people are telling us that we look stoned when we show our face.
Yeah, apparently we look like two stoners. So no, if we're together for a live stream, we probably will do this. But if I now want to show like the video, I still have to figure out maybe a nice UI to put in here, like with a viewer count and chat box maybe on screen. That would be nice. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. And then maybe our 2 webcams or something. And if we have like special guests, we can put them here or something. So that's probably, that will probably be there in the future. Another question, how was the YouTube journey? So yeah, by the way, Dave, did you notice we just had our anniversary?
Hey!
Yeah, so that's basically,
I guess.
there's basically something that happened. Our previous video, our first video, let me look it up, was on March 10th, 2015. So in 4 days, we will be 1 year since the launch of 3D Bandit / Bandyte. Talk about game dev pipeline. I don't know if we can talk a whole episode. I mean, it might be interesting if we have like maybe more questions, I guess. But well, we can give examples, but like we said, there are different, like every company does something different. But we will definitely talk about the Luma pipeline. We will definitely talk about how we in Luma pipeline our stuff.
And maybe in next stream there will be more content in Luma than we can actually show at demo level, but I'm not sure of that because of time issues and stuff.
Yeah. So to answer the question, the previous question, how was the YouTube journey? Well, it was good. I mean, we have like almost 3,000 subscribers, which is insane. I mean, I used to be excited. Like I've been a YouTuber, well, quote unquote YouTuber, since I was, I think, 14, 15. I posted my first video on. No wait, a little bit later, I guess. Wait, no. Yeah, no, when I was 15, 16, like when YouTube was really young, I posted my first videos on there. And I've done everything. I've done Let's Plays, I've done vlogs, I've done crazy and non-comical vlogs. I'm still doing vlogs now, but they're kind of different toned. If you want to check them out, go to Scriptish. It's featured on our YouTube channel. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. I think, Dave, you don't have a lot of experience with YouTube, right? Or am I?
No, I'm just actually listening to videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
The only thing I did on YouTube was my game engine series.
Yeah.
And I'm already having 19k views on the first part.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, in college I also did stuff. Yeah, that's true. So I did like short films, sketches with friends. I I was always on like doing something creative and putting it up on YouTube. A lot of random stuff. If you look really hard for it, you can still find it. But please don't. So yeah, I guess we have time for one more question. So how was the journey? It was good. We've learned a lot. I think like the success of Bandyte at the moment is because of the experience. Because I've like experienced what not to do, and like I trained Dave in my experience in when he posts a video, that it's all done correctly. Like there comes a lot of work, like making thumbnails, tagging videos, posting them on the correct like date and time, like seeing to it that people are I don't know, to be like like all that stuff, making a video and putting it online. But the journey has been good, and we're very happy where we are. We are almost 1 year old. We have.
I'm glad I can be a part of it.
Yeah. Me too.
I really am.
Yeah, and like Luma is now a result of all this like silly video thingy on YouTube, and we are very glad about this. We're very happy to work on this. Oh, so maybe next episode, tips on how to get into the game industry. That's actually pretty interesting.
How to get into the game? Yeah, but that's different for every company as well.
Yeah, that's also like what you do and but maybe you can combine it with like how to work and how to put up a portfolio and what to be on the lookout for and such. So yeah.
But when we end the video will become online, right? It's not live, but it will be posted on the channel.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe people can comment stuff in the comment section.
So people can So if you're watching the stream offline, thanks for watching. By the way, it's not as fun like watching it offline, but I guess with time zones and such, it's not always easy to. So yeah, if you also have suggestions for another time, we both have full-time jobs, so don't ask for like Monday noon or something. But
my boss would accept that.
Yeah, this seems like a nice way to end the weekend for us. And to round the stream like off, I think this is a good ending, more or less. We will do this every Sunday, or maybe every 2 Sundays. I don't know yet. This might be open for discussion, but Dave will probably rage that we should do this every week. Yeah, we're probably gonna do this every week because it doesn't take a lot of effort for us. Well, I mean, it takes an hour from our day, but we don't do it. We don't have to do any editing. We have you guys that come watch and ask questions, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we will probably do this every week, and this will also be more like. This will also we will always dedicate like 20 minutes or 30 minutes to Luma and show us a little bit of progress. Maybe that will have a dedicated stream or dedicated videos. Maybe we'll make a forum. I don't know. We've discussed a lot of things that we can do, what we should do, what will help, what will not help. But
only time will tell.
Only time will tell. So, thank you,
Cedric. Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're glad that you enjoyed it. For the next stream and our videos, share this. Get more people into the stream next time. I mean, it's been awesome having people listening to us blabber for hello Konzi, you've joined at the end of the stream. I'm so sorry. If you have a very short question, you have to be very quick, but you're welcome, sweet angel. That's her username, by the way. I'm not being that's her username.
Yeah, sure.
Sweet Angel 0467. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to ASVBVV, Sweet Angel, Zero Coke, Thomas. I'm just going through Joffrey. And Joffrey. And everybody who asked questions. If I missed somebody, I'm terribly sorry for joining us.
And Real Mako 1.
Yeah, Real Mako won, I guess. Oh, Konzi is sad. So yeah, rewatch the stream then and join us next week at the appropriate time. So we will do this every. We'll be on next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. CET. That's Central Europe time. That's +1 GMT. Yeah. So next live will be same time next Sunday. So every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. CET. That's GMT +1. That's the time zone in Brussels. That's about like 6 hours into the future, or like 7 hours into the future from East Coast USA, and 10 hours into the future from West Coast USA, and about like 7 hours into the past from the Eastern stuff, China and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Look up time zones. 7:30.
We'll make a video about that.
Yeah, we'll make a video about time zones. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. It's been great. It's been an honor that people that there are actual people watching and people asking questions, people interested in us, and hope you're excited for future stuff like Luma and the stuff you'll put on Bandyte. And hello Vera Munchi. God bloody damn it, I missed it. Yep.
Yeah, you missed it.
Yes, there will be. Yeah. So everything will be online after we streamed.
Yeah.
So Dave, any last words?
Think first, thank code.
Yeah, think first, thank code. That's a nice way to end. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. Share it with your friends. All the support we can get is nice. If you think people would be interested in this, get them in the fun. We're also looking for all the support we can get is nice. And yeah, thanks for watching. And we will see you next time.
And we were Bandyte.
We are Bandyte. Bye.